Hey there, so I've got the KB90 from Marzocco behind me here, and we're gonna go through this thing and talk about some of the product features and how this might be the right machine for you if you have a high volume coffee shop. Let's get into it and talk about some of the details here. So one of the first things that I want to talk about on the KB90 is the steam wands. So the KB90 comes standard with the Pro Touch steam wands. The cool thing about these is you can let those steam wands rip and you're not going to get burned. So you don't have to have those little rubber grommets on there anymore. Now the tip still does get warm, so you will still get burned. It's a vacuum insulated double wall stainless steel pipe. It's just like your Yeti or Stanley cup. One of the other really cool features about the Marzocco KB90 is the straight-in portafilter. This actually might be the most innovative difference in this machine than pretty much any other machine out there in the industry, regardless of manufacturer. Marzocco and the KB90 are the only manufacturers with this straight-in portafilter. Let me show you how this thing works here. So you just push this button and you pull it out. That's all you do. There's none of that manipulating the portafilter left and right. It literally just goes in and then it clicks in. That's it. When you're done pulling your shot, you push the button again, you pull out, and that's the end of it. Okay, not only is this espresso machine a workhorse because of the improved functionality of the straight-in portafilter, but it also has auto flush and auto purge. So auto flush is a steam shower that comes out, and then auto purge is a water shower that comes out. After you're done pulling your shot, you push this, and you have a steam flush and then a water purge as well. That cleans out the shower screen so that you don't have all of those coffee grinds in there for the next shot, which this allows you to go straight to your grinder and come right back to the espresso machine with another puck and fire away again. The Marzocco KB90 now features scales built into the drip tray. The great thing about that is the espresso machine will just weigh your shot for you. I'll go through a little bit of this here with you. The Marzocco, the KB90 scales, just like the Linea PBs. You stick your two little fingers in here and the scale comes right out. There's a lot of really important technical features that go on with these scales and how they marry up with the system. We won't go into that, it's beyond the scope of this video, but if you ever have any questions about the scales, you can put in a comment and I'll get back to you about it. But if you end up owning one of the Marzocco machines with scales, you will quickly find out how to get the drip tray apart and get inside there. All right, so auto brew ratio is one of the coolest things about the Marzocco KB90 or any machine that has the scales built into that. Auto brew ratio basically means that it's going to take the weight of the coffee and it's going to do just a quick math equation, basically say that whatever the ratio is that you program into the machine, be it a 1:2 or a 1:1.7, whatever the ratio is, the machine is going to consistently put that out, and it's going to change the volume of water that it dispenses according to the weight in the portafilter. And that just takes into consideration that the weight that comes out of the grinder is not always consistent. And the argument is that it is the ratio of coffee that is most important as compared to the actual dose or yield of coffee. If I can shorten it, basically, a ratio is more reliable than just the dose and yield by itself. So let's look at the features here of the scale. So basically, here's the workflow with this. Is you push and hold button 2 until it says portafilter. You tear the portafilter out. It's pretty quick. Now you got the flashing lights. It's ready to go. Let's go over here and get a shot. And the argument here is that it doesn't matter if the grinder gave me 18 grams or if it gave me 17 grams. The argument is that the espresso machine is going to put out whatever it thinks the ratio, so it's going to put out a yield to maintain that ratio. So now we hit button 1, push that, And now the display is going to ask you for the weight of the coffee. So 19.4 is where it eventually lands at. Now we just pop this guy in here and the machine has already done the equation. It is now going to give us the ratio that we asked for. The user interface of the Marzocco KB90 is just like the Linea PB that is currently out there and has been in the Marzocco ecosystem since 2013. The buttons here are the same as you would find on the Linea PB. You have the 3-button interface, you have this button here, which is your main program button. Pretty much anybody that owns a Marzocco is probably familiar with this by now. You still have the Linea Classic out there that works a little bit differently, but surprisingly enough, the new Marzocco GB5 runs off of the same software inside. It has a couple extra buttons, but the actual user interface is very, very similar with the 3-button programming and navigation with these 2 buttons here. Okay, one of the other selling features of the Marzocco KB90 is the location of the, I guess kind of all the mechanical guts of the group heads, where as you know, a technician would find a lot of problems. So everything that a technician would need to address with like a clogged flow restrictor is all right here. They don't have to take all the cups off. They don't have to take the entire machine apart. Everything that they need is right here. Specifically right here is where a coffee technician is going to want to get to. This is the Piero group cap, and inside the Piero group cap is just underneath here is the flow restrictor. So if a coffee technician has to get in here and fix a flow problem, all they have to do is remove this, remove those 2 screws, and they can get to the flow restrictor very quickly. If the flow problem continues after checking the flow restrictor, they can easily get to the flow meter, which is right here as well. These 2 items are where the majority of flow problems occur, and Marzocco obviously knows that, and there's a reason why they put everything right up here.
All right, guys, we have to thank Marzocco for letting us demo the KB90. We have a few clients who are using the KB90 at their cafe, so it was useful to get an intimate understanding of the mechanics and features of the KB90, so that in the future we can help other coffee shop owners choose a machine that's right for their cafe. And now knowing how this machine works, we'll be more efficient when going on service calls involving the KB90. We loved having the KB90 on bar, and we wish we could have finished doing an outro video for you guys on it, but Marzocco needed to get this thing out to an event at Coachella, so we had to pack it up and get our GB5 back in here pretty quick. But now we have the new Marzocco GB5S with ABR, and we are loving it. So we're going to do a video on that next. So be sure to like and subscribe this one here and hit the bell icon so that you can get notified when we upload that video and teach you guys all about the GB5. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.